So let's get right into the more complex objects. Here the chair, the usual way. And for that, I'm not sure if I take a leather or a fabric, as you like. Just take... no, I take a fabric. Something like that, and you see it looks really ugly. And now we will do actually this cutting and unfolding and sewing stuff. And what I want is actually that my geometry may... no, we'll just do a cutting right here on these edges. You see that? Okay. And also I want a cut here where I actually don't see it, more or less. So here, but without that one. And also here. So where it is. Somewhere where I don't see a cut, and that I will select them manually, because when I take all of them, the whole edge loop is selected. So, and I don't want the whole edge loop to be selected. It might be a little bit difficult here. So then I go to my toolkit again and say I want a cut here. I'll get my white lines, and now I will see what my unfold will do. So go to this UV shell here, that one, and let's try. Well, not too bad, but I think I selected here something wrong. Maybe I split here. So good edge. No, yes. I did a selection mistake here. That's the reason why it didn't work out well. So just go back and correct my mistake. So press Ctrl and double click that. Selection is going away. And press Shift and double click. So I do the other way around, so that this kind of mistake doesn't happen again. So maybe I'm just using the paintbrush, decreasing it with B and with Control. I paint over it, so it's, oh, but be careful. I deselected too much. So let's see what happened now. Cut again. And now my unfold may work a little bit better. Yes, that looks awesome. So, and unfold also the second part. So I have here my shell, my two shells. So of course, when I want also this part here to lay out quite proper, you have to, I'm not sure if this will work, but I'll have a try here. When I just select, no, I just orient it before that both shells were in shells, so it's easier for me to select. What I want to do is actually select just one side. Always press Ctrl to deselect. Oops, not to move. And I just try to stitch together. Now it did a little bit creepy stuff. But let's try to unfold again. Not too bad, maybe. So it was, I guess, which side? That one. I switch on here my view, my checker. Here I have a little bit of distortion. This area. But I will also try on the other side to do the same thing. Actually, I'm trying to find out which one is, yeah, here. So I double click the edge and switch off here, check it again. Be careful what you select or deselect. Yes. Then stitch and stitch together. Again, this creepy stuff here. Then unfold. Oops, select shell. Unfold. So then a switch on my checker again. And I think this would work out quite well. So when I have my fabric here, of course I will scale it. Oh, I have this little, where's this? Okay, maybe here on the inside. What I could do actually, no, this is just a button and actually a different geometry, so I don't care about that. Take my both shells and scale them, because my texture is seamless anyway, so I can scale this quite big so that I have a fine structure on here. Maybe it's a little bit too stretchy. It depends on, of course, when you take a leather or something. So it's more or less a couch structure. But when I have a look here, it is not so bad actually. So, well, that's the first step. So this sewing and unfolding works quite well for complex objects. So let's go right into this desk here. And again, a new material. Oh, I forgot to rename the other one. So it's called maybe Mobius desk. And here I have go to the woods, and there's a wood already prepared for that. So take the diffuse map. We need the others then later on. So let's see what happens. Of course, I see here it is my shell, but it's in the wrong position. But the wood is weird anyway. And we take actually the same actions as we just did. So we select the edges. No, actually I just switch here to the isolate select mode because it's easier for me. Press F, that it's always switching around. So you have to think before, where should my seams should go? And I will do one here, then here, and here, and of course that one. Well, that's it, more or less. Maybe I need another cut here. This will help that the geometry will unfold fine and I won't see here any cut. So I also do that here. That's just a fine adjustment. If you don't do that, it would also be fine. Then again, cut. And let's see what our unfolding does. Not too bad. The second one, unfold. Here we go. That's it actually, and you want more or less, because I'm rotating it, of course, here, that both of it fits in here. And when I also switch the checker on, you see here it's not distorted. All the checkers have a fine, nice position, and so we are more or less happy with that. Of course, rotate it so that you like it, but so we have a nice wood in it. So switch off my isolate view. And another tricky thing could be here the frame of, so focus that, because here it's also maybe a little bit tricky to get the perfect result. And I do new material, of course, again. Frame. Not sure if he took so, because there was a red arrow line and so the connection didn't work. So which would I take that one just for. So as you see, it doesn't fit well, and actually also the easiest part, before now I have cuts here in my geometry and I don't want cuts already, so they're just destroying my stuff. So what you can do is, on the one hand, just select the UVs and sew them so that they mix up here actually. And the second thing is my cutting stuff. I switch here to the isolate selection mode again. And what we do, again, select edges where I want my geometry to be cut. Of course, they are that stuff, so the corner edges. Always press shift that everything is selected. And I also want a cut here on the back side. That one, that one, that one. And where it is, that one. So, cut. And what this does is, when I now go to my UV shell, which doesn't look any cool here, but when I do the unfold again, actually select all of them and unfold, here we go. Actually now these parts are laid out perfectly, and I orient here my shells and I lay out them also that the size fits a little bit better. And of course, when I take here these UV shells, and okay, it depends on, no, I want them to be rotated and orient them so that they are perfectly wooden. So when I have a look at it, I have a nice wooden frame with the perfect layout. So what's your task now? You have to check all the objects here, or actually the given source images, because you should use them somewhere. You see here, you don't need to use everything. You have different kind of fabrics or woods that's just arranged to choose from, but you have to use here the pencil. There actually the UV layout you see is here. You just have to add the materials, but you have to lay out the ruler, and there is texturing for it, then also the post-it. And the sketchbook is already layouted, and here this uhu stick or whatever you find here, you have to train yourself to texture the room. Not every stuff you have to do the UV layout, because the things that just get a color, like for example a white window frame, or when you just color the wall, of course here you have to add some fabric, and also here there will be some fabric, and for the carpet you have to do the UV layouting and the texturing. But when you have chrome or something, like here or here, then the UVs, the layout doesn't matter. Except you do a brush metal, but that's a different story. But when you just color something, then yeah, the door you have to lay out it and choose any wood you like to have, or maybe you just want to have a white door. So it's just for you to experiment. How should the frame look like? How here the the lamp, it's up to you. You just train yourself to just use materials or to use the techniques to do a good texturing. And with the material tutorials that will follow here, there we go much deeper into how to create a really nice material, because now we just did the images into the color channel, but we don't have any good materials. So that means that we need a good specularity, some roughness, some bump maps, some displacement, and this I will show you here in the next tutorials, because when I do a just quick render here, now we have here everywhere is the same material actually on it, and that's way too glossy, and I'm not sure what comes out here. So this is just the rough outcome. You see here, for example, the fabric doesn't look like fabric, it looks like plastic. And yes, the tuning of materials. So we will do the next one, so stay tuned.